It
Yeah.
was louder.
All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gray Beards. My name is Wayne, and to my left over here
Actually, I'm your
is
top
AKA Bug.
left.
He's having to use a alternate means this morning. We've been having technical difficulties. One, not wanting to get up this early in the morning.
That was one.
Play hard. You gotta rest. We're older now. You gotta get them Z's in, if they say. But
Definitely.
mm,
Definitely got to get them Z's in.
been crazy. I wear my Duck Dynasty, little tribute to old Rest of Soul. How the heck do I do this?
Yeah. Yeah, there
Oh,
you go. The other guy.
Phil Robertson, he passed away.
Hmm.
Forget how old he was.
Yeah.
70. He was in the 70s, 79 maybe, 76,
I
somewhere
didn't
around
think
there.
those guys was that old, man.
Well,
How
he was. He's up there. He's up
hmm.
there, you know. Um, yeah, I used to watch the show when it was on. It was pretty popular, and he had a little, what do you call it, falling out with the producers or whatever of the show over
Hmm.
his views, whether it be, religious views. And he was like, I'm not doing it. He wore my little camouflage hat. XGO is a
Whenever you
company.
fall out with the producers, it seems like it's not that long.
Hmm.
Then you leave this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like him or not, let us know down there in them, please boop it down there in them comments what you thought about Mr. Robertson, rest his soul. Um,
Hmm.
very devout Christian. His earlier life was not. I don't know when he um, became when he became a Christian. I don't know when it was. I know it was probably later on in his life. I don't know when, but yeah,
Yeah.
he then was meeting the maker. He went to
You
the
there?
he he, he should be.
Yeah. He done met the maker, shook hands, shook and take. You know how we used to do in the
Hmm.
military?
Yeah,
Shake
man.
and take.
Yeah,
Got his reward,
yeah.
and now he's ready to come back.
Well, I think they were talking about rebooting the show, but
Hmm.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving on. So you had a busy day yesterday, huh?
Yeah, man. Um, Multiple yards. I think it was at least 10 yards. Um,
That you needed
well,
to do or
total it was
had?
like 15. Okay. But um, three over there didn't get done, and two over here in my local area didn't get done. So that's what's on the horizon for me, plus my own yard. Yeah.
Yeah,
So a little
man.
bit more work, and then I got to go back to Egypt tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Where those 601s? Where
Yeah,
got
those are
this
coming.
shipment go?
I've been delaying that task as well. I did start one, but I don't know where to go with that. But that's work stuff. I took I took some stuff I've been hoarding to the dump yesterday, and when
Oh
I was
yeah.
there, when I was at the dump, I ended up picking up something. The guy there said, "Hey, you want to take that? You can have it." The guy that works there. And it was one of those patio heaters, them tall stand-up patio heaters.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I could use that when it's cold here. I mean, I won't get to use it for, a few more
8
months,
months.
but yeah, it's 4 or 5 more months. Um, but for free, and now I didn't know if it worked or if there was any issues. I mean, it looked like it had fallen over and bent up there's like a thing at the top, like a umbrella like thing on the top.
Hmm.
I was like, man, I could straighten that out, no problem. It's pretty
Yeah.
nice. I mean, it's really nice. So I brought her home, did some straightening on that top piece, and the other thing I didn't notice at the time was where you connect it to the propane tank. That
Hmm.
piece, that piece was broken. Well, I just so happened to have one, and I was like, I wonder if
Hmm.
I can put this one on there, and I did. So
Okay.
then I put it away, and it works. Those things are like
Take a picture of
200.
it, man. I'm curious to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
A patio heater. I can't even fathom that right now.
Yeah. Might be able to show you real quick on the phone here. The it's just so happen to have one. Um, see if I can get a picture of it. Yeah, looks like that thing right there. Oop, I don't know if
You
it's
got to
gonna
put it
let.
in front of your body.
Is that
Okay.
it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
One of the stand-up patio here. It's actually the same exact thing as that right there.
Okay.
The I was like, sweet treasure for $0. I
Hey,
mean,
you outbobbed Bob.
yeah, $0,
How's it feel?
man. I put probably about an hour or so of work in it, cleaning it, making sure everything worked and it was safe to use.
Hmm.
But yeah, you
It's
know,
amazing, man. You go to the dump and you come out richer than what you went in there. Same thing happened to me. This guy was like, I got two 5-gallon gas jugs,
yeah, I
for
remember
lack of a
seeing.
better term. And he gave me one, the hose is at the bottom, which I
Mhm.
told you about it. He was like, it's gonna leak one day. But
Well, they
nevertheless,
do, but they're nice because it just
it is
tips out.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I used it to refill one of my smaller jugs. I was like, dang, this is nice, but behind me was this voice. It's gonna leak.
Well, I see, I always question those because they rely on a seal, right? And whenever you rotate them all the time, the little rubber gasket, O-ring, or whatever they're using,
I think it's a gasket.
yeah, they
Hopefully, I
just,
can simply replace that, but I don't know.
yeah.
Probably a trick
Uh,
to it though.
get me started on gas cans and the safety crap that they put on them.
Look what I done.
I mean, you literally, the spring on those things to release them is just, I mean, I'm a pretty strong guy, right? And I
Right?
struggle with those to get to slide them and push them in and hold,
Yeah,
I can
it's
only
a lot to
imagine,
do.
yeah, I can only imagine someone that has less strength and to hold up a gas can to fill up your car on the side of the road.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Hey, baby, flick your bic so I can see how to put this gas in here.
Yeah, that wouldn't go over too well. But I mean, it's just I see all the time where people are dealing with struggle with it. I see it all the time. People talk about how crappy these are.
Hmm.
These safety gas cans, right? And
They're
they're
so safe.
sealed. If they get hot, they get bloated, right? I'm like,
Facts.
and if it gets cold, they shrink in because
Facts.
there's no vent. I
Venom
got you
house.
don't want it to spill, right? Because people carry gas cans. I go to the fill up my gas can or jug because it's plastic. Can you call it a can if it's plastic? I don't know.
What is a plastic container called? Jug?
Jug? Yeah. I mean, at least that's the way I've always known it to be as a
Let's
jug.
go gas
Um,
jug.
I don't call it a
Gas container.
can. You don't call it a can. We used to always call them gas cans. They were actually metal gas
They were
cans,
metal, yeah.
and we
And they
always. I
worked
don't
for
care.
like 4,000 years. And all of a sudden, someone's like, we need to use plastic.
Yeah,
The very substance that's poisoning our whole darn universe.
yeah. Don't even get me started. with
They're finding
micro,
plastic on the tallest mountains or something.
yeah, plastic, microplastic. Now my wife here
Yeah,
tells
there you
me,
got it.
microplastics, she learned about microplastics and how, they're in everything, and they're in us. And I'm like, well, I got that. And she's like, so now everything she's like, you should use glass and da, 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 in the microwave. And I'm like, I mean, I'm 60 years old. Is the next 10, 15 years I may have left, if I'm lucky, you know, have, extremely lucky, maybe 20, 25, whatever, you know, it's like, I mean, let's be real, right? I haven't lived the best life. I'm physically broken in, a lot of
Oh,
ways.
what you mean by that? You haven't lived the best life. What does
Oh,
that mean?
I never did take the best care. I didn't, I'm not on this health kick. I ate what I wanted to eat, and it may come to find out later it's not as, you know, good for you. I drink coffee like I'm drinking water in the Sahara Desert, but
But
what
yeah,
I mean, I didn't take the best, when I say live the best life, I didn't take the best care of myself,
man, I think I'm always seeing the glass half full. I think
Mhm.
you did. I don't think it's, some of the most healthiest people are dead. You know what I'm saying? So, and
Yeah,
here
it
you
didn't,
are. Here I
yeah.
am. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, and you said think, what you seen, what was his name, Richard Simmons, right?
Gone.
Gone. It's like,
And a lot of these monks, they probably was eating Big Macs behind the scene.
yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, we all know that how detrimental. I'm a heavy guy. I've always been, I say always. In my adult years, always been fairly heavy. You know, a lot of weight on the old joints. You know what I mean? It wears on a body, right?
Yeah.
And but I smoked till the early 90s, and I haven't, you know, those
Yeah.
they take time off, right? Supposedly, so
Hey
you
man,
know,
I think yeah, I'm always looking at stuff positive, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had some health scares myself, I ain't gonna lie. The doctor was like, "You're gonna die."
yeah,
And I didn't hear what he said after that.
yeah.
He probably
Well,
was giving me the
we all know we have an expiration date. Unfortunately, we just don't know when it. I mean, I say
yeah, if you just
unfortunately,
said it,
would you really want to know when your expiration? You look at it every day. It's like I got
man,
2 more weeks. It's
I
like
don't want to know.
no, I really don't want to know either. I don't think I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I've
mean,
had
he
some.
wasn't saying if you can somebody tell you're gonna die like Phil or some other office guys, you good, but your doctor tell you that,
Mm,
you kind of pay this cat some attention. But he probably was giving me the prescription to live, but I just stopped on you're gonna die. That was a while ago, so don't panic. You know what I'm saying? I think he said if you don't get your blood pressure down, if you don't start wearing your CPAP at night, if you don't exercise, he might have was saying something like that afterward, but it was like
mm.
wonk 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 wonk. All I heard
the
was you're gonna die, which
the
elevated my blood pressure. He could have that would have been murder, some
yeah,
in some degree. But my blood pressure went up, and then they turned the lights off. They was like, "You need to calm down,"
yeah,
and they said you need to go toes up. We can't let you leave the hospital in this condition, right? And I stayed there, man, over an hour. I mean, this was a while ago in a dark, well, a lurid room. And every once in a while, a nurse would pop in. How are you doing? I was doing
yeah.
fine until you showed up with
Yeah,
that
and that's
darn
you know,
thing.
One thing about, we're coming up, we're almost to is it June yet? Is it June 1st yet? Is that tomorrow? Today's June 1st. Is it?
Mhm.
What is today? Yeah, today's
I'm
June 1st.
4 months, bro, from being four. I'm on 5 months from being 61.
Yeah, man.
That's good and bad.
Good that you're making it. If you
Say again?
it's good if you make it. Bad what? Meaning to
You sound like
close.
that doctor. Dang.
Well, you
Hey,
almost you're not promised tomorrow, right? Yeah,
like
this
sand through the
and
hourglass, so are the
the
days of.
days of our life.
Man, what
Yeah.
if this is all the time I had? I think, what would I do if they like, this is how much time you got left? I probably play Call of Duty. I probably say a brief prayer, and then I just say, hey, I'm seeing how many people I can kill before I leave. That's not many. I only got 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
This
that's the
this is
thing,
not an hourglass, even though it's hourglass shaped. This is a 15-minute glass.
yeah. Well, that's the thing when you think about the mortality, right? We we just don't. I cannot get my hat straight on my head today. I keep wanting to do this, but it's because I'm looking. Anyways, I digress. We just don't know, right? We just don't know. And that's one of the things why I'm motivated to do what we do here is that maybe my kids, if they ever have grandkids and I never get a chance to meet them or what have you, they can always say, that's your grandpa right there.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
a
I
good
mean?
point.
It's they could, as long as YouTube is around, they'll always have something aside from a picture on a wall, like I have with
Yeah,
my grandfather and parents.
yeah, man. I can
You
see
know,
them laughing. Grandpa was funny, and he didn't even know it. That's the tragedy of this thing. You know what I'm saying? You say a lot of
well,
funny things. And I'm not
well,
just
but
laughing just to be laughing. It's actually funny to me.
yeah.
That's why I was like, dude, we need to get you on. Somebody need to see you. The universe.
Yeah. Well,
Y'all, and look, gray bearders out there, listen, y'all have this. This is extremely edited, okay? Because
that.
this dude is funny all day long.
I don't know
But
about
we
that.
can't. One of these days, I'm going to release the Kraken, as they say. Let y'all need to see Wayne uncut. Funny
Uh,
as heck.
I don't think so. I think you're just very optimistic in life.
I am optimistic, but
Yeah.
the laughter is spontaneous. Uh,
I'll tell you what, we
y'all, you
do.
guys, y'all, hey, in the office, y'all laugh at me, but I'm laughing back. I'm like, these rappers are off the chain.
Yeah, but
Just the stuff, just the regular stuff you got.
yeah, well,
It's, I'm always chuckling.
I don't list this as a kid-friendly show, but it is try to be somewhat PC,
No, you ain't got to use profanity to be funny. It's just,
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, but like I say, a lot of funny cats.
Oh yeah, and I love seeing, the most recent thing. I tried to do a drive time so everybody knows. I tried to do a drive time. I did it and I had it on there. Well, I had the AC just ripping in the old Dodge Caliber, and must have been blowing across the mic on that I was
Yeah.
using. So it was like, so I'm sitting there listening. I was like, dang it, you know.
Where's he at? Siberia somewhere? Was
Yeah, I know, but the problem is that I do that kind of a spontaneous thing. So it's like just like the show, we don't really have a script. Sometimes we talk about certain topics, um, but for the most part, we just kind of ad lib on this show.
yeah, we just roll.
Uh,
Let's do it.
and I use the word show is it really a show? It's just a couple guys talking about what they think. Like the gas cans, for instance. I don't like them. I I hate them. It's just like you remember the jerry cans we get at work, right? The metal
Oh yeah,
ones.
I thought those were safe.
Well, yeah, they're horrible. Those
They're
things
horrible.
they always leak, right? You can have a brand new what we called it. They called it a donkey dick, is what they called it. I know someone's gonna go, yeah, okay, there's your piece of
Cancel. You're canceled, bro.
canceled, your whatever. But it was a metal, connector that went in there and it's supposed to seal at the bottom. It had a little thing to tighten it up so it was sealed. That thing's always leaked because the rubber would deteriorate or be wore out. And you're holding 5 gallons of fuel trying to put it in, and it's usually not something low, it's usually something high. It's
We
dripping and
used them
leaking.
until, I mean, beginning probably World War I. We had jerry cans.
Yeah, I don't
You
know the
know,
history on the jerry can. It's been around for quite
a
some time.
long time. The
Hmm.
expanse of my 20 something year career.
Yeah, I know they went from being metal to plastic. We
Dare
had
you?
plastic ones.
While you was in?
Hmm. Yeah,
Never
most all
saw
the
one.
ones I ever used were plastic.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm not, I just, maybe I was out of using gas cans at the end.
Well,
I
I had a
don't know.
little. I had a little more experience with them. Um, you should have too, being there at Shaw, because the anytime you were had to refuel generators, or you remember doing the tent heaters, we had that set up where you took a jerry can and turned it on, it had a stand,
Yeah,
and
that's all I can remember is using the jerry can, and I used it without a spout. I was the most unsafe mug. I just
well
poured
these
that mug in there.
well they had an adapter for them to fuel the tent heater, which was just
Yeah,
a stove, right? And that's what, and it was diesel fuel that fed it, or JP8 or whatever fuel. You
yeah,
couldn't use, wouldn't recommend using gasoline on that, but you could use diesel
that's
or
crazy.
JP, yeah, whatever. But yeah,
Crazy.
that was yeah, most I remember we had metal ones long. I mean, probably in the early 80s, mid
Then we used to
80s.
have them strapped to like Humvees or something. You
But
know what
they
I'm
were all
saying?
plastic.
They were?
Yeah, they went to plastic. I mean, the newer ones. We probably had some old metal ones. I haven't seen a metal jerry can in my 30, 40, well, 42 years of being around the military.
Really?
Hmm.
Hmm.
If I
Maybe I
do, I
thought they
don't.
were
If
meant.
I did, I don't remember them.
Okay. Yeah,
Um, yeah, we always had the plastic jerry cans. I don't know why they call them jerry cans.
it's a good one. We need to
Why
figure that
why
out.
why are they jerry cans? I don't know.
That's a good question.
What is the
I
name? Well, what's a
don't
jerry?
know.
The only thing I know that they called German soldiers Jerry. Was
Maybe
that fifth? I don't even know if that was 15 minutes. That was more like 6, 7 minutes.
the doctor lied to me. He told me I had 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hey
was.
man, looking at the picture in the background with the wife in it, that kind of reminds me of Stonehenge or something. I know it's not, but what is that? Where were you
Yeah.
guys at?
Well, these are millstones, grain for milling grain and stuff. You would
Back
find
in the
them
day.
in, the in a mill. So where we were at here, I talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but these are just the stones that they had that water wheel, right, that turned, and they turned this thing around on a bigger stone, and they would put the grain in there, and it would grind it up or mill it up.
Yeah, this seems like some Knights Templar type era, but
Mm-hmm.
how far back does this go in, as far as you know? I
Oh,
mean,
that's
were
been
they
around. Um, well, they had windmills back in
hmm
the day on what I think it's is it Norway, somewhere over there in Scandinavia,
yeah.
where they had these things set up, but they used wind to turn the wheels to
Hmm.
provide power to mill their grain and stuff. And then
And
we
grain
have,
simply needs to be crushed.
yeah, it just pulverizes it into flour, right?
I saw this old movie with Samson, right? When
Hmm.
they had caught him, put his eyes out, and he was turning this millstone. He was just
Hmm.
that's all his job was, just to walk around pushing this darn thing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then once in a while some dude would hit him with a whip.
yeah, obviously they would use, you know, they had them for animals. They would put them on the thing, and they would just have this oxen or whatever, donkey, horse,
Yeah.
just walking in a circle and turning the, all it does is turn that wheel to grind it up.
Wow.
Yeah. And if they didn't have that, then they'd have a large,
Yeah, I've seen
uh,
that too. Yeah. That thing.
some kind
That
of,
I would hate to have that duty.
I mean, there's places on this planet that are still doing that today.
Yeah.
They would get their grain, they would get a sack, a burlap bag or a sack, like what did you call them last week?
Croaker sack.
A croaker sack full of grain, whatever. And my cousin, he was like, I can't find crocus tree. And I said, well, I might have misspoke. It's not a tree. It's actually a flower,
Oh,
a
wow. First of
flowering
all,
plant.
stop the press.
Yeah.
Someone actually is listening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we
And
have
it's
some, he is, and I appreciate it. Rick, appreciate all your
that was Rick. I
comments.
should have known
And
it was Rick.
yeah,
Rick
Rick
was
was,
like, let me fact
mm,
check Wayne. That seems like there's a little,
oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Uh,
I
he,
can't, I don't want to use the
it's,
wrong word, but
it's kind of like the unspoken thing between us, him and I is like, we, and whether he's aware of it or not, we have very similar, we're very similar in our, obviously in our upbringing and, what, how we think. So it's
mhm.
always like, um, I don't know, because competition's too, we're not really
Yeah,
in
it's
competition with each other, but we have this very similar aspirations. Let's use
fact
that.
check that cat.
Yeah, he's always keeping me
Hey
on
man, I
my,
couldn't find a crocus tree, bro. What's up?
yeah, but it's, I think they use, I mean, he wrote a whole thing last, I know you haven't had a chance to read the comments.
Rick, I apologize, man. I'm gonna read that comment. I want to know what you said
Yeah, he
because
looked it up.
you
But
Wayne.
yeah, he waned me. Yeah, but he does that all the time. He'll
Does it?
and the way, and I like how he does them, but he makes me have to go back and look at what we said because I typically, like I said, we don't have a script or whatever, and he'll put timestamps in where the comment was,
Oh wow.
what he's talking about. So he makes me have to go back through because he'll put it just he like I remember what I said at 22 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. I really don't,
That's
but
awesome.
if it does, because he'll put stuff, and sometimes I'll just put a question mark to reply to him. Like I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Because you'll say something, or I'll say something, and he'll put a comment, which is fine. I love it. It just makes
that's
me have to
awesome.
go back instead of just leaving his comment. He makes me have to go back and go, okay,
Hey,
that's what
he
he,
want to streamline it, man. Go to the 22-minute mark and watch
yeah,
this thing.
yeah.
Look at what you said at the 22-minute mark. That's
Mm.
what I'm referring to.
All right, so it says we've got about 10 minutes,
That's
which
cool.
is surprisingly farther along than I thought. Anyways, yeah, not a whole lot of news going on. I see that everybody's thinking that Elon Musk has quit because that's their narrative, but he's at the as a I don't know what there's a term for him. He's like a special hire. They can hire
Yeah,
somebody to do a job for like,
term employee.
yeah, it's
We have
basically
them
a
all the time.
term or temp or whatever for
Yeah,
120 days, right?
I got
But
stuff for you.
he's like, so they've been spinning this that he's quit. Him and Trump are on the outs, and And I'm sure they have their disagreements, no doubt. But they're just like, he's out, he's done, I'm tired of this. Instead of just saying he's reached the end of his what he said he was going to do, and I'm done.
Hmm.
He's got Tesla and SpaceX and all X, formerly known as Twitter, that he's, you know, invested in, right? That needs his attention.
Right.
Just it's just so funny the left and their
Can't be out here
mhm.
solving the nation problems. I got my
Yeah,
own job to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I
yeah,
mean, he got them started, so somebody else can fill in. All right, this is how you do it.
yeah,
Right? Do you
yeah.
think
It's
Trump
just
gonna appoint somebody else to do what he was doing? Or
yeah. I think he did. There was somebody else. I mean, originally it was going to be what's his name? I don't want to butcher his name. He was running for president. Ramaswamy,
yeah,
I think.
there's something like that.
He was initially going to do that, but he decided early on in it that he wasn't going to do it. He had because he was trying to run for Senate or Congress or governor or something. I don't know what. I
Yeah,
mean, he's a billionaire as well. He doesn't.
yeah, I like that dude. I mean, he's a softer version of Elon, but
Yeah,
he appears to be anyway.
yeah. I didn't know a
He's
lot
smart.
about him, and Kyle was saying he was like, I like this guy, and I hadn't really heard anything about him or anything at
Yeah,
that time.
Kyle introduced me to him. He was telling me
Yeah,
about that guy. I started watching some videos on him. I like he's saying a lot of stuff I like.
yeah, I agreed. Instead of just pandering to what people want to hear, he's like, "This is what we need to do."
Hmm.
And that's kind of like I don't understand. I keep seeing all this stuff about the Democratic Party is dead. It's blah blah blah. It's
I think
not
it
dead.
is.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's dead. I think they're going to have to relook at their message, what they really stand for. Um,
Yeah,
they,
they're definitely gonna have to do that. I mean, it's like y'all focusing on who and who cannot wear a dress. We got real problems. You know what I'm saying? We got
yeah.
stuff to do.
I mean, personally, it's like they're just they've. It's not. I've said this a thousand times probably. The Democratic Party that my grandfather, my mom, my family in general, that and friends, from is not the same as it was, right, in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, where they stood for working class people, right? That that is out the window, man. They they're now in this progressive socialist dreamland that is, at least in my opinion, is
Yeah, they gotta get
just
back to
a
the basics, man.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think America has progressed along enough where okay, people can do or be whatever they want to be, but okay, you do your thing, and that's what that thing was about. I guess the civil rights movement, equality, and all this. So,
mhm,
okay, now Democratic Party. Now I focus on some real issues, which those are real. I don't want to say it's not, but all right, you've achieved your goal, okay? Of uh everybody being the equality thing, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So now just focus on, what's gonna help people live a better life. You know what I'm saying? Search your ideas, what we can do to make our economy better, make life better in America. Um, what stuff like that, man. Getting the kids educated,
yeah,
making a
and
direction.
putting money, just throwing money at stuff is not the answer,
No,
or
of course not.
fake money. You know, I will print more, whatever. They got to get out of that mindset. And people in general got to get out of this borrowing just to have stuff. You
True.
know, to get that mentality is just wrecking so many families. Um, it, and I really think financial stuff needs to be taught more in school, the right way to spend your money, right?
But they're demonizing everything. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. It's bad to show up for work on time. It's bad to save money. It's uh it's so many things they've demonized that,
Hmm.
work, going to work, nah, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you surprised me the other day. This was a while ago when you said it was racist to show up at work on
Yeah.
time. Is that right? I
Hey,
mean,
it surprised me. I Googled it. I was because a guy was telling me that, Chuck, and I
Chuck,
Googled
what's
it
up,
and
Chuck? Hopefully he's watching.
yeah. Yeah, we need to have Chuck back. Chuck, oh dude, Chuck is right wing. You know what I'm saying? He stays, I mean, he's like this. He's ready. Soon as they say something,
Hmm.
he's getting the message out. I hear about it just about every morning coming to work. That's how I get my news. I don't even watch TV. I just listen to Chuck.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, they're doing this, yo, they're doing that. And they're mad at Trump for this. I mean, he's on top of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's good. I mean, hey, that's what you like to do.
Well, stay informed, right? But listen to both sides as my thing.
He listens to both sides, but
Well, it's hard,
it's rarely anything positive come from the left when I'm speaking to my man. I'm like, they gotta have something good, right? Something?
well, you gotta have it, you gotta have the yin and yang in life, right?
Yeah.
You're always gonna have
I
different points of
challenge
view.
you to name one good thing that the left has said. Not now. You got time. Next show. You know what I'm saying? Let you do some research and say the left said this and it was good. You know what I'm saying? Look at you. You're trying to do it now. You're not gonna be able to do it. That's why I gave you got a week, bro. You ain't got to do it. No
Well,
pressure.
and that's the problem right now is because their message is wrong, right? It's just it's not conducive to um, society, in my opinion. They're trying to paint that this is, they I am going to get. We can maybe talk about it next week because they're. I just think they're just going down a rabbit hole that is just no rabbit in, right?
It's not even a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I would love to hear from my left leaning friends, family, what they that do actually listen to the show or whatever. If there are anybody out there, what is it? What is the left? I challenge you, everyone. What is one thing the left is putting out that
My
makes
dad would
sense?
say this here. He would say, they're for the working man.
But what
And
have
I
they
don't say
said?
anything because I
I
have to
haven't
be.
seen or heard them say anything that makes sense that would um, support that. I don't see it.
Yeah, Pops is just locked in. I mean, he don't know. I don't. He just like we've discussed in other forums that hey, he's locked in to a certain era when
Yeah.
the Democrats was actually doing what he thought they was doing.
But we all thought they were doing. But with that said, let us know down there what you think. Before we run out of time, thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a great week.
Yeah, I second that motion.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah, come
watching,
on, come
everybody.
on out, Democrats. Give us some
Yeah,
good
man,
stuff.
come on out. I want to talk to you. All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks for